idea. I will find him!
You're a breed. Men are brave.
Not about deserve. It's about what you believe.
Could've just peed on him.
Like brunch. Like, what is brunch?
The story of the Defiance is well known.
What, we some kind of suicide squad?
Heroes don't kill people.
Well, I do.
Martha!
Hello everyone and welcome back to Enter the SnyderVerse. This is the show where we go over all things DCEU. We're reviewing every movie one at a time, and this week we're here looking at the new Joker trailer for Folie à Deux. I'm one of your hosts, I'm Nathan.
Nathan, what are you? No,
we're not. We're not here looking at Joker 2, Folie à Deux.
I mean,
the trailer?
We can talk about it for a second if you want, but that's not why we're here.
That's what I took notes on. I have here in my notes that we have a Burt Bacharach number. What the world needs is love, sweet love.
Oh my god, you're right. That's show up in both.
Kyle, you're telling me that I took the wrong notes?
I mean, it sounds like they're pretty translatable, to be honest. But no, we're talking about DC League of Super Pets, Nathan.
Ah, okay.
You should know this. You did watch it.
Yeah, I did, unfortunately. I think I probably have more to say about Joker.
You don't want... Okay.
Kyle, introduce yourself. Who are you, Kyle?
I'm Kyle, and... Bits, you've already done the bit for the intro, so we're good. Yeah, so we did this. Obviously, this isn't in the DCEU, even though it does have the DCEU intro, which I thought was very interesting.
So did I. I'm kind of not really sure why, unless they just kind of, their interpretation of that logo was just all things DC, even though Joker didn't have it.
I don't think Batman had it either, did it?
No, the Batman didn't have it.
No. So basically I'm taking that as confirmation that this isn't the DCEU, especially since we see Black Adam in the post-credit scene, so, you know.
Is John Krasinski the headless Superman when Henry Cavill refused to do it?
I think that's the only assumption we can make.
That's all we're left to, yeah.
That's why we don't have a Green Lantern in any of the movies, because Jessica Cruz is off doing whatever, I guess.
Jesse Eisenberg surely stepped up in this.
Well, yes, indeed. This movie has an insane cast.
Oh yeah, it does.
Which I'm sure we can get into, but there's a lot of very famous comedians and people in this.
Yeah, why don't you roll through it, Kel? I mean, off the top, we got John Krasinski from The Office. I'm currently watching The Office for the first time ever. I'm in season 8 now, I think.
Sorry, I'm pulling up the cast.
Yeah, that makes sense, good. We also have Keanu Reeves as Batman. I think he might be my favourite character in the film.
I mean...
Favourite human.
Favorite human. Okay. He had probably my biggest laugh out loud moment in the movie, which is when Superman is playing with Krypto and he just goes, "I miss my parents." So, you know, that's a classic comedic Batman line.
You've given me positive moments from that line. When I remember watching it, I didn't crack a smile or anything.
I see. Okay.
My favourite line might have been when he saw Krypto play with the Chew toy.
Uh-huh.
And he said that he hopes this is an officially licensed product.
Wasn't it Squeezy Bruce?
Yeah, Squeezy Bruce, yeah.
I feel like, Superman, you gotta be careful just throwing that name around, because people are gonna put two and two together there.
So, who's Lois Lane married to? Is she married Clark Kent or is she married Superman?
I mean, they're both the same person.
Not in the eyes of the public, though. Who's in that marriage document, you know?
I'm assuming Clark Kent.
Why does Superman propose in the middle of a public park and give her the ring and get married in the outfit?
Like this... We simply can't spend too long questioning the logic of this movie, okay?
Of DC's League of Super Pets?
One of the things with this movie is, I guess neither of us have said what we actually thought of the movie, so...
Go for it.
I thought this movie was just fine. It's, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I have some issues with it. There was some things I thought were funny, but it's a very generically normal kids movie.
I thought that It had some good quips. It had some good. I think the funniest stuff probably mostly came from the human characters, apart from the turtle. Just because it's a kids movie, to me, doesn't somehow lessen my expectation of quality writing.
No,
Because-
I'm with you on that.
Because you can get good stuff that's made for kids. And I felt
this is a post SnyderVerse movie. So
yeah, it's post Lego Batman.
post Lego Batman.
Like, and that's just superhero animated movies that come off the top of our head. There's hundreds of great kids films out there. This film feels like it's just kind of doing a thing, but like the story's the least important part for it.
Did this get a theatrical release? I think it did, right?
I think ladies and gentlemen, this is my first time watching this. That's how I came to this movie.
This is an exciting first time on the podcast, I think.
Yeah,
Apart from that one episode of Peacemaker that you skipped.
Yeah. This is like the true first full project I'd never witnessed. I wonder if this was like a Dwayne Johnson thing. Because his production company's in it, $7. That's Dwayne Johnson's logo.
Right, okay.
And he's the star, and obviously cameos Black Adam in it. And I wonder if this was kind of part of some sort of deal he was able to make as just like a business venture for him. Because he's a very successful and ruthless businessman, that Dwayne Johnson.
I wondered watching this movie, because I got the strong feeling, I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, that the first draft of this movie was not a DC movie. It was just a generic kids movie about pets who get superpowers.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
Because here's the thing, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the majority of the pets in this are not in the actual DC League of Super Pets. Actually, in the comics it's called the Legion of Super Pets, so I don't know why they changed the name for one.
I'll be honest with you, Kel, I didn't know there was such a thing. I knew of Crypto the Super Dog.
Nathan, it's comic books. Of course there's a Legion of Super Pets.
Yeah, why not? Why not? They've done everything at this point.
It was during like the silly era of comics, you know.
Some may say we never truly left it.
Hey, I did some research on this, so do you want to hear some of the original members of the Legion of Super Pets?
Please.
So obviously we have Crypto the Super Dog and Ace the Bat Hound. Those are two OG members.
Yep.
Chip, who is a Green Lantern alien who looks like a chipmunk.
Uh-huh.
So that's not the same as the chipmunk in this movie, who
Like
is
a
just a
renamed
chipmunk
character.
who has lightning powers.
I thought it was a squirrel.
Is it a squirrel?
I thought it was a
Guess
squirrel.
it as a squirrel. Streaky the Super Cat, who's Supergirl's cat,
Right,
who
okay.
has all the powers of Superman. Bepple the Super Monkey, who's Superman's pet monkey, who has all the powers of Superman.
I'm familiar with that character through Red Letter Media.
Comet the Super Horse, Supergirl's pet horse, who once a year turns into a human man and they go on a date.
This is ridiculous.
Comic books, Nathan.
This is so stupid.
Jumpa, who's Wonder Woman's kangaroo, who she rides into battle.
Okay, no, you're planting fakes in here.
Hoppy, who's Shazam's pet rabbit, who has all the powers of Shazam.
You're just lying to me.
Topo, Aquaman's octopus, who does actually appear in Aquaman. He's the octopus playing the drums.
Yep. Got a big part in Aquaman too, Kyle.
Oh, good stuff. Bat Cow, who I'm sure you know, is just a cow.
Yeah.
Flexi, the plastic bird, who is Plastic Man's pet bird with all the powers of Plastic Man.
Why are you still reading these?
Detective Chimp is the last one on my list.
I'm also familiar with Detective Chimp.
Yeah, a detective. He's Sherlock Holmes, but a chimp.
Sherlock Holmes, but
So
a
yeah.
chimp, yeah.
You know what you'll not notice on any of those? A pig with Ant-Man powers, or a turtle that goes fast. So those characters are just made up for this movie.
So are you familiar with I think it's an Illumination picture, The Secret Life of Pets?
I'm familiar with it. I've not watched it.
Right, neither have I. But I've seen the trailers a lot, and I'm familiar with broadly the existence of the IP.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if this was an effort to compete with that, because it was quite popular for a flash in the pan moment. I think it got 2 films.
Did it really?
Yeah, there's 2. There's Secret Life of Pets 2.
This is like when I discovered there's 3 Boss Baby movies. Like, how?
The first Boss movie is quite good. I've seen nothing else after it, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, so I wonder if this was in an effort to compete with them, because like pets that are people is quite a popular genre.
Sure, yeah, that's a classic kids trope.
Yeah, exactly right. And I just think that maybe this is what they were trying to do, because right now we're in the hot era of everyone having a kaiju. You know?
That's true.
You know, so I think maybe that this was an effort to compete with that. If you think it's a different movie that they sort of slapped the DC logo on, I could kind of see, for instance, before seeing this, I thought that the animals of this film were already the pets of their respective superhero.
Well, that's how it is in the actual Legion of Super Pets.
But that's kind of the vibe I got from the trailer as well.
Uh-huh.
I kind of just assumed that Otis the Bat Hound was his dog already, and the pig
That's the thing.
and the turtle.
You've got that main cast of characters who all live in the animal shelter, right?
Yep.
Because for some reason they're keeping a squirrel in an animal shelter
And a pig.
and a pig. Anyway, so that's like your core cast, and then the villain is also from that animal shelter, the little naked guinea pig.
Yep, played by Kate McKinnon.
Yeah, and then you just slap Crypto on top of that plot, but he doesn't necessarily need to be there for that to all kind of come together.
Oh, you could cut Crypto out of this movie, I think. Like, he assists...
Which is bizarre, because he's the main character.
He assists Superman in launching orange kryptonite back into space. But you could just have Superman do that himself, right? He doesn't really need Crypto. And then Kate McKinnon's Lulu has a tractor beam. And big purple sky beam's a little tiny weeny little bit of it. And no one notices.
Well, it's small.
Yeah,
and she built out of tennis balls and hay or something.
Big purple tractor beam, okay. Because it scales weird up into space, it looks huge.
Well, as we know, orange kryptonite only works on pets.
Apparently.
Not animals. Pets.
It must be... It's so strange, Kyle.
How would it... Are humans not animals?
Yeah. But...
I don't... How's the kryptonite making that distinction?
Is it like a certain level of brain power and it doesn't work on you?
Well, this is classic animated movie logic, which is all the animals can talk to each other, but they can't talk to humans.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
It doesn't make any sense. But I will accept that as being accepted convention in these kinds of movies.
Yeah,
whatever,
fine.
You know?
It's just the fact that it only works on pets is very weird.
Yeah, that is incredibly weird.
I'm going to assume the orange kryptonite that only works on pets is also made up for this movie. I didn't look that up.
Yeah, I didn't look it up either. And I just don't care. So I've noticed here, Kyle, that when John Krasinski first goes to see Lois Lane in the park,
yes,
she's finishing recording a news story, right? And he brings her croissant from Paris. And she brings him a hot dog from 3 blocks over, right?
She makes a reference to Mr. Mitzi Spitlick.
Well, when this happens, Kyle, the cameraman just sort of, after they finish the story, just kind of is walking off away and just leaving his colleague, a news reporter, next to Superman. Like, that's not a pretty big news story. You're about to get an exclusive interview with Superman.
I have an answer for this. The cameraman is obviously Jimmy Olsen, and he's in on it.
Okay. This makes more sense.
We don't establish that in the movie.
No,
but
we don't.
I just assume that's the case.
Is that from the Snyder Cut of this film?
That's from the director of this movie is, let me see.
Was it Sam Levine? Did he co-direct it?
It's Jared Stern.
Right, okay. Why did I think it was Sam Levine?
I have no idea. I have no idea who that is, but we'll figure out more in the Stern cut.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think of John Krasinski as Superman? I think he's okay. I think he does a fair enough job with this version of Superman.
He's quite good. He's on par, I would say, with the actor whose name I forget, who plays Peter Parker in Into the SnyderVerse.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a good alternate, not main character take on the traditional lead. You know?
Yeah, well, like the core dynamic of this movie is, I guess, Crypto is jealous of Lois Lane. That's like the core dynamic, and it's just, you know what, Nathan, it's not a very endearing character trait for a main character. It's like, oh, I can't believe my best friend is dating a girl now, and he's going to spend all his time with his girlfriend instead of me.
Yeah. So I understand that this is meant to be an easy plot for kids to pick up on, right?
Yeah.
But parents have got to sit there for an hour and 39 minutes.
They get the turtle.
They get the turtle. They also get the human character. They also get, you know, the human characters of the film. I should say the turtle is the funniest pet in the movie.
Oh my, absolutely. Natasha Lyonne, who voices the turtle, she's just in her own movie for the entire thing.
It's that prenup.
It's like they just told her to vamp for every single scene. She drops swears in this movie.
Yeah, right. I think sometimes the hallmark of a good kids property is where you can hide the adult humour to keep the parents that are paying to take the children to this thing entertained.
Yes.
And I think
like Shrek.
Like Shrek. And I think there could be more of it in this film, significantly more. Mm-hmm. But, like, what you gonna do? Now, have you looked... Why don't you give us the Rotten Tomato score for this? Because I was shocked when I looked at this, Kyle.
Oh, it's very high, yeah. Critics 72%, audience 88%.
Crazy. People... I think it must have been COVID.
Oh my god, a movie! Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, when this came out, I was just returning from the Dominican Republic. So COVID was sort of winding down. There had been good things out already, but maybe like this was kids' big return to the cinema.
Well, yeah, this is post the Batman, so...
Yeah, this is post the Batman. Yeah, but in the UK we got locked down in 2021 into 2022. So we got let out for Batman, then we get taken back inside again for Christmas. Yeah, I don't understand why people enjoyed this.
I mean, it's not a bad movie.
Apparently it took $207 million at the global box office.
I can see why kids would enjoy it. If you're a kid and you've never seen another movie before, this movie's probably pretty good.
Apparently, according to Wikipedia, this film was pitched by the director in 2012.
I can believe that.
Yeah, he wasn't officially hired for it until 2018.
We're in a trend of animated movies pushing the boundaries, and this is a very safe animated movie.
Oh yeah, it's so safe. It does feel like it's from 10 years ago, doesn't it? If this came out when Despicable Me was in full swing, like this would have gone apeshit. We'd be on our fifth one of these. Like,
it has such a generic animation style to it. Like, you could take these pets and put them in any animated movie from the last 10 years and they would look perfectly in place.
Yeah, absolutely.
The squirrel looks almost identical to the squirrel from Over the Hedge.
It's such a safe film. I read that in your notes that you thought this guy was from Over the Hedge, and I laughed a little bit. That was a funny bit.
I mean, also voiced by Cassian Andor. What's he doing in this movie?
If you have The Rock in a project, you can probably ask a lot of people to do a lot of things for you, you know?
I guess so.
Like, this could be like a do someone a favour kind of job, you know?
Yeah, I meant to pull up the cast, so let me just read out a few of the crazy ones. Diego Luna is Chip, crazy. What was the other one? Oh, Olivia Wilde plays Lois Lane.
Yeah, I saw that as well. That was kind of crazy.
Jamila Jamil is Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Jermaine Clement is Aquaman for some reason.
People just do what they do, you know? Was he Vector?
Jermaine Clement, I mainly know him from What We Do in the Shadows. He's one of the vampires in that.
Yeah, see, I never watched that.
Just a very bizarre choice for Aquaman.
Oh, he plays a minion in Despicable Me.
Oh, good.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going through his filmography. He also plays Sauron in the Lego Batman movie.
He plays Sauron?
Yeah.
That makes sense, he's from New Zealand, I guess. But yeah, Aquaman, the worst member of the Justice League in this movie, because they're just doing all the, like, extremely dated Aquaman jokes about how he talks to fish, and he's the fish guy.
My final note in my list of notes is his flippers make me uncomfortable.
They've gone for like a weird hybrid of the Jason Momoa Aquaman and a classic Aquaman.
Yeah, and none of it comes together.
Mm-hmm. Keith David plays Dog L.
Yeah,
that's that little cameo.
Like the definition of doing someone a favour is that cameo right there, you know?
Dog L also made up for this movie, by the way.
If they made this film 10 years ago, it would have been Morgan Freeman.
Yes, you're correct. This is one I found really crazy. Hang on. Alfred Molina plays Jor-El.
That was Alfred Molina?
Yes.
Jesus.
And and you'll never guess who plays Superman's mum.
Not a clue.
It's frickin' Cersei Lannister.
No way.
It's Lady.
Listen, people do favours. People
I guess.
do favours.
I mean, yeah, it's like, what, like 2 lines where she's like, no, don't let the dog die in this horrible explosion. Let the dog live.
Let the dog live. I mean, I bet there was like a 0.1% of the profit back end. You know?
Maybe so.
People making silly money on this. Sometimes Google casting is just really disingenuous because it's telling me that Kevin Conroy was in this but not listing who he was, so I think that's
Yeah, I
probably
saw
why.
that too. I pulled up the Wikipedia page. I didn't trust Google.
Yeah, fair enough. I could get behind that. On Wikipedia, there is a section for the future, Kyle, of this franchise. And
I see that.
and it's one sentence.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. In August 2022, following the positive financial and audience reception, Johnson stated that the film will be the first installment in a new franchise. Well, that sounds just like The Rock, doesn't it?
It sounds very much like The Rock. It also sounds very much like someone who was very sure that he was going to be a big league player in DC for the foreseeable future.
Oh, we'll talk about that a lot more next week.
Yeah, we will. But I see a lot of that in this film. Not necessarily. Black Adam's a very different movie from this, obviously. But I see a lot of Dwayne Johnson doing a thing here.
Yes.
One of my first notices, actually, I completely forgot Dwayne Johnson was in this film until Crypto opens his mouth.
Yeah, he's just doing The Rock. He's not really putting on a voice.
Yeah, like after, again, because we're in a post into the Spider-Verse world, I kind of would rather just a really high-budget animated film about the characters and not about their animals.
See, I'm with you. I'm generally the proponent that comic book stuff adapts slightly better to animation than it does to live action because you can push the boundaries a bit more.
Well, famously, Kel, you have never seen the Into the Spider-Verse
No,
movies.
I know.
I think they would be a religious experience for you, truly.
I'm sure I would love them. I've just never gotten around to it.
Well, to stay on the topic of DC, right, there was some concept art that came out for a Batman Beyond movie in the same art style as Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked gorgeous, right? But because Terry McGinnis's outfit looks very much like a Miles Morales Spider-Man outfit in that art style, I was just kind of a bit depressed that despite how gorgeous it looks, I was like, Ricky, let's just not make everything like Spider-Verse though. Like, let's do something, still pop it and vibrant with colours, let's do something a bit different. But the concept art did look gorgeous. You should match
the art style to the character.
Yeah, exactly. But it did look great. It really looked like a great piece of concept art. I just kind of don't want them to just keep making that one art style over and over forever now. Especially because it's Batman and that was Spider-Man and the comparisons will just get really messy online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. But you would prefer that he looked like sort of strange, squishy Batman in this movie?
So I found strange, squishy Batman to be a hell of a look, Kyle, actually. I've seen it, I feel like I've seen it elsewhere before, and I think what it reminds me of, and I don't like this comparison, but I hope you understand it. Mm-hmm. Do you remember, in the earlier days of the internet, a adult, shall we say, cartoon skit for sexy Batman?
Vaguely, yes, I see where you're going with this.
And he's got the big chin, the little white beaded eyes, and the massive lips, and he just walks around, and I won't go into the skit, right, but just the visual look, where his head is so big and his chest is so huge and the cape looks tiny in comparison. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this Batman. I quite like the gold trimming, though.
Yeah, no. For how little the Justice League is in the movie, I think all of them are kind of fine, except for Aquaman.
Yeah, exactly, right? I quite enjoy Elseworld looks of superheroes if, we're not going to see a lot of it.
I don't know much about this version of Green Lantern at all. I think she's relatively new in the comics, but you know what? Throw another lady in the Justice League, whatever. It's fine.
I'd absolutely never heard of her.
It's a neat look. I don't care. It's there to sell action figures.
It's there to sell action figures, that's the truth.
I did look up a little bit of information on Jessica Cruz, and I found her entry in the DC wiki.
Yeah, go for it.
This is for her involvement with the Justice League, okay?
Okay.
Jessica joined the Justice League by order of Hal Jordan at some time.
Is that it?
That's it.
God. Thanks, Hal Jordan.
I realize we missed one of our major cast there, and it's Kevin Hart plays Ace the Bat Hound.
Yeah, Kevin Hart does play the Bat Hound. Another character I've not much to say about.
I think Kevin Hart is Kevin Hart trying to like establish himself as not like the comedy sidekick guy? Is that what's going on?
Based on Borderlands, you would get kind of the thought that he might be trying to be a leading man in an ensemble. Yeah,
that's the impression I'm getting as well.
But he's still the Rock's
strange
buddy, you know?
Yes, well, he has a very sad backstory in this movie.
He does have a very sad backstory. I tell you what, that was actually the one part of the movie where I was like, I see the conflict there. Because on one hand, humans don't understand your intelligence. They have just seen you bite their daughter. This all makes sense.
Because they didn't put any safety gates on the stairs.
No, there was a safety gate, but they left it open.
Ah, well, that's even worse.
Yeah. But they have no context for, you've saved the child. They just thought you bit the child. So he wouldn't change anything because he saved her, but it was the worst day of his life because he also got disowned. Now, really, like, a good moment in the film, I would argue. But it's just like one beat, and I don't feel like it ever really comes back around again, except to just say,
you would think if you said that, he would end it with like, and now he's reunited with that family because they've seen that he's a superhero now or whatever.
Instead, it's just, I don't have a family either, Batman. Do you want to be, pets and owners living together?
Yeah, because he has to become Ace the Bat Hound.
Why does he? Because he does.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think in the original comics, Ace the Bat Hound is like one of the Joker's dogs who he rehabilitates or something like that.
Batman loves rehabilitating people.
He does.
Another funny bit I thought was when he said he worked alone and then just started listing exceptions to that.
Yes.
And he's just sitting with Ace while the camera goes into a big action sequence and then he finishes on whoever Morgan Freeman played, right?
I found that insulting because he played Lucius Fox, a semi-famous Batman character.
We find that insulting. See mums and dads at 10:30 a.m. in the cinema with their kid on a Sunday morning. They don't know who Morgan Freeman plays. They know Morgan Freeman was in the Dark Knight movies when they were younger, and now they're parents in their mid-30s and are just happy the kid's silent. They don't remember. They remember Heath Ledger's Joker fighting the Batman, and that's it.
You're really tapping to the core of this movie.
Oh yeah, no, I know, because I know exactly who it was made for. It's so clear in my mind's eye the kind of cinema experience this was.
There's a lot of very on-the-nose music choices in this movie.
Yeah, I kind of committed a bit of a sin here, and I didn't actually note down the songs.
I know. I noted it. I didn't take time codes, but I did note down when there was music this time.
We got Queen, You're My Best Friend.
Really, really on the nose to start on.
Yeah, super on the nose.
We had the Burt Bacharach one because the villain hamster is in love with Lex Luthor, and it's very strange.
It's a very strange thing.
There's a weird undercard going on there.
She was literally a guinea pig for him.
Well, I mean, she thinks they were in it together or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is part of like the weird, like the logic of the movie doesn't make sense because sometimes when she talks, because they do like the classic joke where they're doing like their big villain speech and then it cuts to what the humans are hearing and just like squeak, 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 right? But when she's talking with Lex Luthor, it seems like they understand each other in that scene.
It seems like she's being understood for the benefit of the audience. But
yes.
Lex Luthor does not then go on to do anything that exactly agrees with her. It's just, well, of course he's going to walk out when the door was opened for him by an animal. He's taking advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah, but there's just a few weird scenes like that. There's scenes where Superman is talking to Krypto, and it seems he's like responding to the things he says in a way that doesn't make sense unless he knows what Krypto is saying.
He's really good at reading the body language of a dog, Kyle.
Yeah, I guess. And it's kind of unclear how intelligent the animals are supposed to be because sometimes it seems like Krypto's as smart as a human and then sometimes he's just a dog, which I guess is classic animated movie stuff.
Yeah, it is.
It's more confusing because he isn't a dog, he's an alien, so he could be super intelligent.
He's as smart as the plot needs him to be at any given moment,
Yes, I guess that's how it is, yeah.
But yeah, you did bring up Burt Bacharach again, and I just wanted to hammer down on that. Obviously famous to our generation, probably from Austin Powers.
That's exactly what I was thinking as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Burt Bacharach.
Exactly, right? That's definitely my exposure to Burt Bacharach.
Yes.
Then yesterday, last night, we got the trailer for Joker 2, and it seems to be
but it was like a weird mix of it.
It was like a Tom Jones cover, I think.
Okay.
I think I don't know that. It sounded like Tom Jones was singing. But I really liked that version. But then to hear the traditional version and this after literally last night, because I watched DC's League of Super Pets an hour ago, audience. I watched it over lunch.
Yes.
This isn't like I watched it 2 days ago. They were recording.
This is the freshest you can get.
Yeah, this is as fresh as you can get for this show so far for me anyway. And yeah, I feel like I'm walking around in a daze hearing Burt Bacharach wherever I go.
What the world needs
You're gonna get
now
claimed. You're gonna get
is
claimed.
love, sweet love. I don't sing well enough to get claimed. Yeah,
Mr. Burt Bacharach.
probably my favorite music in the movie, and it doesn't count as jukebox because it was diegetic. Is when Crypto listens to "Bad Blood" by Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it was in world. It was a silly moment.
Yep, and he misses Superman being attacked because he's listening to that. There's almost no original jokes in this movie. Every single joke, you're like, yeah, I've seen that done better in other movies before.
It's just silly pop culture. Oh, I get it. He's away in a huff because his friend doesn't want to play with him and he's listening to Taylor Swift, who the kiddies will know, and he's in the bedroom. That's for like if you've taken your older 13-year-old sibling to see the film as well, and they'll laugh at that, you know?
It's a full 4-quadrant movie, is that what they call it?
4-quadrant movie, Kelly. You got it.
I will say my least favorite character is the pig, not the guinea pig, the actual pig.
Yeah.
Because it's that style of humor where it's just, I'm going to talk really loud and do lots of stuff. And
I'm really socially anxious, yeah.
Yeah, again, a very generic kids movie character, but just one that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And her powers are just kind of boring too. She just gets big and small.
Powers, yeah.
Ant-Man powers, but not in any kind of creative, useful way. Apart from when Wonder Woman uses her like a battering ram. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, well. So I have in my notes, Kel, that I just need to bring up the guinea pig has the powers by wearing a little necklace of the orange kryptonite, right?
Well, I don't think she got, because they all have the powers even though the necklace is not there. So I think she just has the powers now and she's just keeping the crystal. But
then when she loses it when it gets taken off her, it's like she's defeated, and then instead of just putting it back on, she crushes it into her to kaiju.
She merges it into her brain and somehow that makes her a kaiju, yes.
Because in my notes I'm like, why isn't Crypto just ripping it off of her? Like, just remove it.
Well, I don't think that would work because, as I say, the other super pets have their superpowers and they're not in proximity to the crystal. So
you are correct.
It seems like the powers are just permanent. Although by the end of the movie, it seems like he bashed the kryptonite out of her with the sun punch. So
yeah,
I guess she doesn't have powers anymore.
I wonder how many. I think maybe that's why there was the mutant FedEx dog at the end of the movie, because
it's just out there now. It's like the Inhuman Crisis and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, because of all the orange kryptonite that gets scattered by the solar paw punch. Which is just so silly, by the way, Kelly. So, the stupid pig, right, brings it up as like a thing that not even Superman can do it. The implication being, of course, that, well, Crypto can do it, but Superman can't. And they go, oh yeah, but he's never done it before. Well, if you've never
how do you know?
How do you know this is a thing that can exist? If he's never done it before, you've never met him before for him to discuss it with you, and you know Superman can't do it, apparently. So, no one has ever done it, and no one has ever spoken to you about it. Why are you bringing this up in the film? It's one of the most ham-fisted setup and payoffs I've ever seen, because they do the little justification for the solar paw punch, but then the last line is, oh yeah, and Crypto's never done it before, and then they move on. But if pause here, if Crypto's never done it, why do you know, right? It's so stupid, and I get it's a kids movie, even of good kids movies, as we've spoken about, and I just find it so infuriating that they just go, oh yeah, and Crypto's never done it, then move on. It's like they know it's probably the weakest, ropiest part of the plot, but they're just running with it. Like, they would rather the film exist regardless of the story quality.
The thing is, too, if he just did that with no setup in the movie, I wouldn't question it at all, because because Superman's powers come from the sun. It's like, yeah, he flew up to the sun to charge up. That's a very Superman thing to do. I don't need a setup for that at all, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't need to set off for that either, but it's a film that's got to be understood in a vacuum, Kel.
Yeah, also, okay, so Lex Luthor, or no, sorry, the hamster has captured all of the people to put them on a rocket, which also has a bomb. I feel like you don't need to double up on those, you know?
There's a funny
like,
bit of
just
dialogue
use the
there
bomb.
where they're like, does every billionaire have a rocket ship in their building? And Bruce Wayne goes, yeah, they do.
Yeah, good bits.
Good bits.
But I would also say, like, I feel like at least half of the Justice League could survive that explosion, right?
Yep. I could argue that potentially Aquaman might not, maybe. Cyborg probably would. Wonder Woman definitely would. Batman
Wonder
wouldn't.
Woman definitely would. Batman wouldn't. Superman maybe not, because he seems to be in some sort of kryptonite bubble.
Yeah, so the kryptonite bubble is kind of the thing I'm thinking of. But yeah, so I like was like, these stakes don't seem that high actually here. It seems like everyone's got this well in hand, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like the premise of the movie is that the pets have to save the Justice League. I get that. It does that classic superhero thing, which always annoys me, which is they don't get their costumes until the last 5 seconds of the movie.
Yeah. See Madam Web for that in more detail.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Madam Web, yeah. But yeah, just I mean, you can, because they don't become the super pets until the end of the movie, so...
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
Because this is the start of a new franchise, Kyle.
Also, I'll say, like, the assignment of the pets to the Justice League doesn't, like, fully lay up. Like, why does Green Lantern get the squirrel?
Who knows? What was the squirrel's power again? Lightning?
He could shoot lightning, but then at the end of the movie he also has a Green Lantern ring, I guess.
Yeah, so he has lightning powers and the Green Lantern ring. That's a pretty powerful squirrel, Kyle.
It is a pretty powerful squirrel. He says that she put a ring on it, which is just... There's a lot of weird, like, bestiality subtext going on in this movie.
The turtle goes with Flash, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, they have the same power. Yeah.
The superfan pig goes with Wonder Woman, which fine. The power doesn't line up, but fine.
Uh-huh. And then Aquaman and Cyborg just get the leftovers.
They get the ice hamster and the fire hamster, because
the ice hamster has melted to become a water hamster.
We never mentioned the guinea pig.
Yes,
has like an army of superpowered guinea pigs.
Yes, I enjoy the guinea pigs.
One shoots rainbows. One is like a big buff henchman.
Yeah, they just have a whole bunch of random
there's
powers.
Like a Clayface one. Yeah, they absolutely just completely random powers. And the fire and ice ones become pseudo-positive sidekicks at the end.
Yeah, they're both played by semi-famous comedians as well, I think.
Like, yes, the ice one becomes a water one, and then the fire one becomes magma, but then Cyborg reignites them, and they're friends again. I wonder if the water one will ever become ice in the future.
I mean, he's with the water guy now, so, I mean, what happens when the water hamster goes into the water? Does he just sort of... Like, what is he?
Well, in the concept art at the end of the movie, you see him on a leash barking at a shark.
Yes.
So, who knows, Kyle? Who knows?
I don't know. I mean, I like the guinea pigs. What I find weird, though, is that all of the guinea pig henchmen look like normal guinea pigs, but then the main one is like this weird, like, humanoid guinea pig thing. It's really unsettling to look at, like, the design of that guinea pig. No, the main one, Lulu. I find the design of Lulu really, like, weird, because obviously part of it is because it's hairless, but it doesn't look anything like a guinea pig.
She also stands on hind legs, I think.
Yes. It's just a very strange design.
Yeah, it is a very strange design.
I do like her using, like, a little ripped part of Superman's cape as her cape, though. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, she's creative. She is definitely creative.
But yeah, the kaiju fight at the end is just like, whatever.
Well, yeah, Miss Waller, we have a kaiju up in this shit.
Imagine if Amanda Waller showed up in this movie. That would be funny.
I'd have clapped. Implanting bombs.
Hey, Ace, I'm here to recruit you for the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, exactly. Right, why don't we talk about the post-credit scene, Kyle?
Which is there? I think there's two.
There are two.
I can't remember what the first one is already. What's the first one?
Neither can I.
Did I note it?
I didn't.
I didn't think I did. No.
probably something silly. Okay. Oh, the end of the film is where they fight the big blue dog that bit the FedEx man.
Yeah, that's just the actual end of the movie.
Yeah.
Is there two?
Yeah, there is two.
Really...
No, there definitely is, because after the first one played, my Now TV screen was like, let me show you some recommended movies. And I was like, no, there's another post-credit scene, actually.
What? Clearly it left a big impact on us.
Yeah, clearly, right? Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the actual...
I know. It was the hench lady picking up the guinea pig.
Picking up Lulu from the hot dog water. Yeah, it was in her Lex Luthor suit. Yeah, it says you want to come live.
Yeah.
And that's the plant for the next movie.
I mean, is it?
For DC's League of Super Pets 2? Yeah, absolutely.
Surely you want to set a new villain for DC League of Super Pets 2?
I don't think this was that creative of a franchise scale. Animated movies frequently bring back previous villains.
I guess.
Now, the main one.
The reason we watched this movie.
The reason that we watched this movie, the actual tie-in to the DCEU, is John Krasinski's Superman playing with Crypto Dwayne Johnson in the park with the Bruce Chew. And another dog, some sort of black dog of some description, zooms past and takes Crypto's toy. And it is Black Adam.
It's a very Anubis-looking dog.
Yeah, and it's a Black Adam dog. I don't know the name of that dog. Played by The Rock, though, as well.
I mean, I don't think it gets the name because it's not a real character.
Yeah. And Black Adam drops down his one line of dialogue to Superman before the main discussion between the dogs keeps going.
Yes, but it is. It's like they couldn't get The Rock's facial likeness.
Even though he's voicing 3 people in this one scene.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to hide the mystique because the Black Adam movie hadn't debuted yet, and then in League of Super Pets 2, after the Black Adam movie had come out, they would show him. It's like build suspense. Bizarre. It's like wrestlers in their suspense for their build-up, you know?
But, the joke of this post-credit scene is that they're making fun of how self-serious and edgy Black Adam is.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm not a hero, I'm an anti-hero because I murder people, blah, 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 blah. But, you can't do that before the movies come out.
It's to prove to the audience that The Rock doesn't mind jokes.
Okay.
He likes jokes, Kyle. He doesn't need to be too serious about himself.
Cause that, I would say, Black Adam in this is the peak of Rock ego, probably, right? I feel like Black Adam humbled him a little bit because he's gone back to wrestling now and he's kind of going back to his roots.
I think him losing out on the opportunity at DC has probably impacted him quite a bit more than we know.
I feel like, because this is peak The Rock doing I'm going to reboot the entire DC universe.
Yeah, this was definitely Dwayne Johnson building up to, I am going to be the Robert Downey Jr. of this world, and this is my legacy. Superhero movies, blockbusters, because The Rock's a very shrewd businessman. His fingers in a lot of different pies, and this was going to be a big crown jewel for him. And I would love to read a book some executive or someone's going to bring out in 20 years that talks about, and again, we'll speak about it all in Black Adam. We probably will repeat these exact words in the next episode.
Yes.
But I just need to mention it now. And it's fascinating to see what happened to The Rock when he lost out after Black Adam's, panning. I wonder if it had been more financially successful if it would have let him stay on. But I really think the James Gunn wheels were already moving by the time Black Adam had come out.
Yeah, I think so too. As I say, I'm pretty sure we're in the zombie era of the DCEU at this point.
Oh yeah, I'd say this is the first movie where we're in the zombie era, Kyle.
Technically, this isn't really part of the DCEU.
Well, okay, why are we recording it then?
as you said, that this has been in production since 2012. So
first pitched in 2012, first active production 2018, I believe.
Yeah, so this scene is bizarre, because The Rock, he doesn't really do voices, so it's just The Rock talking to himself.
Yeah. He's still speaking to John Krasinski. Okay.
Well, no, most of the scene is Crypto talking to Black Adam Dog.
Yes, fair.
And I guess he's trying to do a slightly gruffer voice for Black Adam Dog.
Yeah, he's trying to do his Black Adam voice, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Crypto tricks him into flying Black Adam to the moon.
Pluto.
Yeah. Oh, because it's a Pluto.
Yeah,
okay,
it's the Pluto.
Sure.
Yeah, to keep him out of the sequel, maybe. Yeah, you're right. This is peak Dwayne Johnson ego-ness. A little bit of fan service. Maybe this is they were, to get people hyped up for Black Adam. We're on the Black Adam hype train. We're starting it early. But
look, I'll give them some credit because Crypto does lose a fight in this.
Yes.
That's very brave of The
It's all
Rock.
part
When
of
we
your
get to
hero's
Black Adam,
journey.
when we get to Black Adam, there's no more losing for The Rock.
That's because it's animated, and we all look down on animation, don't we, Kel? That's how the
Yes.
world works.
Animation is just for children, which, to be fair, this movie is mostly just for children. But
Yes, there's no. This movie was made for children and bronies. Thank you,
I don't know.
everyone, so much for watching.
wow, you're going straight into it. Eh?
Yeah.
You're ready to go.
I'm ready, Kel.
Yeah, we're watching Black Adam next week.
We are watching Black Adam next week. You can find me, as always, at Nathan Tinney on every piece of social media that you can possibly imagine. Hi, we're working on it. I also run the Enter the DCEU Twitter account for the show. Give us some love over there, please. Like and subscribe to this channel and video wherever you're watching or listening. And I'm sometimes in Kyle's YouTube comments section. Kyle, where can they find you online?
Yes, people can of course find me in Kyle the Scott. You can eagerly await my 3-hour analysis of DC League of Super Pets, which I'm obviously going to be working on. It's gonna be my masterpiece.
It's pièce de résistance.
Yeah, you know those YouTube channels where they do like 5-hour analysis of like part 1 of 6 of the prequels or whatever. That's gonna be me with both DC League of
Kyle's
Super
working on
Pets.
his own Mr. Plinkett character. Okay, well, Kyle, this was fun. I can't wait to do Black Adam next week. And thank you, everyone listening, for listening. And you can catch us next week for Black Adam.